Hola, este vídeo fue sacado de los directos de Twitch, en donde transmito actualmente de jueves a domingo de 6 o 7 de la noche, hora Perú. Sígueme en mis redes sociales para estar informado. Ahora sí o sí, disfruta el vídeo. Ya, popo que digo, ¿dónde? Ese teleport. Por aquí se va, ¿verdad? Vale, creo que vamos bien, eso creo. De repente todo se ha vuelto verde. Sigue avanzando hacia el bosque. Oye, Ara, ya estamos en Sumeru. En Sumeru, a veces se pueden encontrar estos símbolos parecidos a una flor de 4 pétalos. Cuando alguien que controla los elementos va en dirección hacia ellos, podrá aprovechar su poder para viajar con gran velocidad. En ocasiones se pueden encontrar unos ¿pistilos? ¿Por qué leí pistolos? ¿Qué rayos? No, unos pistilos foliáceos que esparcen símbolos de 4 pétalos. Aprovecha sus propiedades para hacer más fáciles tus aventuras. Tu Aventure. A ver, ¿qué es esto? Ay, no llego.
To Sumeru, our next objective should be to head to Sumeru City and find a way to meet with Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Hija menor Kusanali.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, even though we haven't heard too much about her, she doesn't seem to be
Kusanali. Así se llama la corte, así se llama la nueva corte.
People call Sumeru the nation of wisdom, you know. If we can get a chance to meet the god of wisdom, maybe she can give us some useful information.
Tienes razón.
Paimon doesn't know the way to Sumeru City. Maybe we can climb up to that spot with the statue of the Seven on it. That'll give us a way better view of things. Even if we can't see exactly where the city is, at least we'll be able to check for some smaller settlements nearby.
Escucho pasos. Oye, Ara.
Wait a second. Look! There's someone up ahead!
Un Deurito. Es un Deurito. Deurita.
Perfect timing! Now we can just ask for directions rather than wander around like lost adventurers. Hey there! We're not from around here and seem to have gotten a little lost. We'd like to ask for some directions. Huh? Did they not hear Paimon? Hey! You over there! Could you give us some directions?
Es ese de visto viajera de Sumeru. Uy, pasó de nosotros. ¿Qué rayos?
What's going on here? There's no way she could have missed that. Wait! Could she be ignoring us? How dare she?
Quizá tenga una razón para ignorarnos.
Well, even so, she might be heading someplace where we could find other people to ask. Let's keep our distance and follow her. When we get the chance, we'll just ask someone else for directions.
Vale, o sea que ahora nos dirigimos. Capítulo 3, acto 1. Tras la bruma y el bosque.
Come on, let's follow her. Just keep quiet. Make sure she doesn't notice.
I'll keep this close.
Uy, bien. Esto confirma que sí puedes obtener cofres cuando estás en la nueva nación. Qué raro que, sinceramente, no es frutos. Bueno, de visión, bueno, de elemento. Qué rayos, me estoy olvidando. A ver, subamos. ¿Qué es esto? Ah. A ver, vamos a atar de árboles. Vale, ¿y cómo subo esto? ¿Qué se debe realizar con esto? ¿Qué es esto? ¿T? Ah, ¿con T? Uy, oye, ¿qué es esto? Oye, qué chévere. Oye, qué chévere. Ya parezco Spider-Man. El mundo se abre para aquellos de noble corazón. Uyara, qué loco. Sumeru, la nación de los sabios. La nación de los sabios, hay que estudiar mucho. Pero a ver. ¿Y eso qué es? ¿Qué fue eso? DmarcoK Super, ¿lo vistes? Lo vi. ¿Verdad? Eran redondos y parecían plantas. De repente desaparecieron. Preguntemos por los alrededores cuando podamos. ¿Qué será eso? A ver, ¿cómo es la estatua de los 7? No he visto bien la estatua. ¿Qué era? Ahora que recuerdo puedo cambiar de visión cuando hago esto. Consonancia dentro. Ahí está. Ah, es como una Arconte sentada. Bueno, naturalmente la mayoría de las Arconte están sentados. ¿Y eso qué es? ¿Y esto qué es? ¿Qué es esto? Ah. Mira. Nueva visión. Nuevo poder. Nuevo todo. Oye, miran carne. Oye, era una transformación. Era una transformación lo que se acaba de visualizar en estos momentos. ¿Qué? Si hacemos esto, a ver qué consigo. ¡Wow! Uy, qué loco. Uy, quién diría que con el Dendro se puede hacer esto? A ver, ingresemos a esta zona.
She just walked near that small waterfall and then suddenly vanished. Let's go take a closer look. Paimon thought this cave would lead to a village or something, but it looks like that's not the case. Look, she's sitting over there. Wait, she couldn't possibly. What should we do now? Do we try asking her for directions again?
Podemos intentarlo.
Alright then. It's not like we have anyone else we can ask. Even if she's not very friendly, we just... Oh! What a lovely smell! It's coming from that sensor over there. This is definitely not your typical place to call home, but at least it smells nice. Maybe living here wouldn't be too bad after all.
DmarcoK, Oyara. ¿Qué fue?
What's the matter?
¿Y qué fue?
You don't look too good.
Algo no está
What?
bien.
Is the smell making you feel sick? Strange. Paimon doesn't feel anything.
Hay que salir de aquí. Ay, ¿qué fue? ¿Qué fue? ¿Qué fue? ¿Qué fue? Creo que me voy a desmayar. ¡No! ¡Me quedé desmayé!
What's happening? Traveler? This is no time for a nap. Oh, come on.
Ay, ¿qué fue? Ay, qué fuerte. Ay, qué fuerte, de verdad. Qué fuerte. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es esto? Vale, ahora sí se visualiza mucho mejor. Ahora sí se visualiza mucho mejor, creo. Creo que al final sí o sí prendí cámara. ¿Pero qué es esto? Un árbol. Este árbol me recuerda mucho al árbol de Zelda. Ironías que se ven. Fue. No, viajero. ¿Pero qué es esto? Y qué chévere. Qué chévere, de verdad. Yara, qué chévere. Oh, Yara. Aunque haya sido muy corta la cinemática, pero sí, pues sí se demostró que sí se pueden hacer más movimientos así. Los fotogramas. Mundo. Olvídame. Mundo, olvídame. Wow, qué loco. Estoy más pendiente. ¿Pero qué está pasando? ¿Qué está pasando?
Yes, you can relax. Believe me, Master is extremely knowledgeable. If he says that he's going to be alright, then there's
Hey.
absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, are you awake now?
Oye,
Oh, thank goodness! Traveler, you're finally awake!
¿en dónde
Well,
estoy?
We're at... Good question. Where are we? Paimon was in such a panic when you passed out that she even forgot to ask what place this is.
This is Gandharvaville. It was originally built by scholars from Sumeru as a place to rest in the rainforest. Now it's mainly used by the forest rangers as a base of operations. My name is Kale. I'm a trainee
College.
forest ranger. My master and I found you passed out during our patrol, so we brought you here. Oh,
Gracias por tu ayuda.
no thanks are necessary. I didn't do anything really. By the way, how are you feeling now?
No me duele nada. Tengo sabor muy amargo en la boca.
Oh, that's Master's herbal medicine you're tasting. He gave you some while you were unconscious. Before I forget, Master mentioned you should take more medicine once you wake up.
La medicina es buena. Medicina.
Whoops!
¿Qué pasó? Oye.
Kale, what's the matter?
Ay.
Were you trying to retrieve the medicine? As I've already told you, you must be careful with these.
Yara.
All right,
Me recuerda a Legolas. Me recuerda a Legolas. No sé por qué.
Sorry, Master.
Now, the guide to Avidya Forest's edible fungi is clearly posted on our bulletin board. But
Dijo
if Farbode
fungais.
forgets which mushrooms to
Dijo
avoid
fungais.
one more time, I'll have no choice but to leave the guide
Yo,
somewhere a little
Fungais
more
es muy similar a Fall
right
Guys.
smack on his forehead, so
Muy
others can
similar a
remind
Fall
him to be
Guys.
careful.
Right? This is the second time he's come down with food poisoning this month. I'll be sure to give him a good talking to.
Yes, please do. If, on the off chance, Farbode simply enjoys having little imaginary fairies dance before his eyes, then we'll just let him
Asegúrate
be.
como es debido. Yo escuché Fall Guys. ¿Qué rayos?
So, how
¿Cómo
are you
estás? ¿Te encuentras mejor?
Oh, this is my master, Forest Watcher Tainari. He's chief officer over all the rangers here in Gandharvaville.
doing? I already informed Paimon about the reason you fell unconscious earlier. But now that you're awake, let me explain it for you. It is common practice for Sumeru scholars of certain darshans to dedicate themselves to training and meditation in isolated areas, particularly the nearby forests. While meditating, they use a certain incense known as spirit borneol to help calm their minds as they enter a state of deep rumination.
O sea, un tranquilizante. Yo entendí
In
eso.
hopes of asking directions, you two followed a scholar named Hypatia into her cave. The incense you smelled inside was the spirit borneol I just mentioned. That incense typically has no effect on most people, but for a very select few, it can have profound effects on one's cognition.
Sí, perfectamente.
Now, answer me this. Did you feel anything after passing out? Say, any out-of-body experiences? Or did you see anything while unconscious?
Describe lo que viste mientras estabas inconsciente.
Kale, let the others know to stop bringing their patrol logs here for now.
Huh? Why?
Because these two will be staying here for the next few days. They can have my room and I'll bunk with Amir. Now get a move on and be sure to do as I've said.
Yes, Master Tainari.
Wow, qué misterios.
Wait, hold on a second.
Sure, let me fill you in. I originally planned to send you on your way once you finished your medicine. However, it appears now that you should stay a
Les
while
contaré,
longer
en
in
un principio tenía
Gandharvaville.
pensado que se marcharon una vez que terminara de tomar tu medicina, pero ahora creo que deberán quedarse en un más tiempo en la vía Gandharva para hacer un mejor seguimiento de tu recuperación.
Further observation?
Pero tengo que ir a la ciudad de
No
Sumeru.
need to be hasty. As long as you have the capacity to judge between right and wrong, I promise that you'll understand the gravity of the situation. Based on what you saw after smelling the incense and losing consciousness, we can conclude that you experienced a powerful hallucination, which suggests your mental state is not in the best of shape.
No
If
está
you're
mucho mejor.
skeptical, have a whiff of this.
Ah,
Oh, are you okay?
otra vez
You're
no.
experiencing a similar sensation as when you passed out, aren't you? So even though your condition is stable as of now, if I were to haphazardly let you leave, it's highly likely that you'd suddenly pass out again somewhere else.
O sea que si estoy en medio de un ataque, aunque lo dudo mucho, ¿me puedo volver a desmayar por ser personaje?
The rainforest is home to many fierce animals and hazardous areas. If something were to happen to you again, I'm afraid you might not be so lucky. For now, I suggest you continue taking your medicine each day and avoid wandering off on your own. At least until you stop having adverse reactions to this kind of smell, okay?
Si con eso basta para que no pueda oler esto, bueno, para que no se pueda oler esto, mejor.
Good. Now continue resting while I fire up another bowl of medicine for you.
Seriously? We just arrived in Sumeru and we're already
Sí, ¿no?
having problems.
Sí, no, de frente a los problemas.
Paimon knows we're set on meeting Lesser Lord Kusanali as soon as possible, but you really don't look too good. It'd probably be best to let you recover first. Hey! Are you even listening to Paimon? Paimon's over here worrying about you, you know.
Creo que hay algo raro.
What's weird? You mean how you're feeling now?
Creo que lo que vi no fueron alucinaciones.
The vision of tree roots and red skies you saw? hallucinations, what could they be?
No lo sé. Cuando tuve esa visión sentí como si estuviera en la profundidad de la tierra. Por el cielo rojo. ¿Habrá sido Canria?
Well, considering how unique you are, Paimon trusts your judgment here. But why didn't you say anything about it to Tainar? If he misjudged your condition, then there's a chance you could get worse, right?
Probablemente no haya dicho la verdad. No creo que se equivoque.
You mean that Tainari already knows that what you saw weren't hallucinations?
Es por eso que tenemos que llegar al fondo de esto.
Oh, Paimon gets it now. That explains why you were so quiet earlier.
Nunca hablamos.
Well, that settles it then. We'll stay here to rest up and figure out what's going on with your hallucination. But it seems like asking Tainari might not be an option anymore. What do you think we should do?
Hablemos con Colley.
Yeah, Colley's pretty friendly. We can ask her tomorrow about what she knows regarding the Dendro Archon and customs in Sumeru.
Ambos se toman un merecido descanso.
Rise and shine! Come on, it's time to go find Colley.
Oye, ahora sí empieza lo chido, los chidori. Hay un cofre, pero no se puede. Oye, ¿ahora qué fue? Aquí ando estudiando. Un genio. No importa dónde esté, siempre voy hasta el final. A ver, vamos a ver.
Alright, next let's see your right hand. Yes, not bad. But please remember
Ignari.
that you still need to be careful. Understand?
Yes, I will. By the way, Master, I still haven't received the patrol route for today.
Look, Kale, today's patrol will be a long one, so you won't be coming along this time. Besides, there's a chance we may encounter...
Podríamos tener algún otro encuentro bueno, tú
I
sabes.
have a vision too. Am I useless to everyone now?
Don't talk like that, Kale. This is not something you need to be worrying about right now. Ah, there you are. Feeling any better?
¿Sería mucho mejor? ¿Podemos hacer en algo?
Since we'll be staying here for now, we thought we might as well try lending a hand around here.
Seems you're not the type to sit back and take it easy for a while, huh? In that case, perhaps Kale could take you two for a patrol south of Gandharvaville for the... And if you're feeling up to it, you can be responsible for cleaning the Statue of the Seven.
Limpiar.
Tenari, we're ready to head out.
Ignari, estamos
I'll be
listos.
right there. All right, we'll be heading into the forest now. I'll leave any further details to Kale.
Yes, you can count on me.
So, Kale, what exactly are we going to be doing? Tainari mentioned cleaning the statue just now, but, that doesn't really sound like the job for a ranger.
Well, a forest ranger's responsibilities can be pretty diverse. They handle a variety of tasks, like checking the condition of outlying roads, maintaining forest facilities, ensuring fire prevention standards are met, and providing
Eres a los
assistance to
viajeros en la
traveling
población
locals.
local.
As for Master, well, he has to handle more dangerous areas of the rainforest. Today we
Peligro.
can perform routine checks on the pathway lamps as we make our way to the Statue of the Seven. Paimon,
O sea que habrá un montón de trabajo.
Checking the lamps to me. In the meantime, you two can keep an eye out for anything unusual.
O sea que va a haber un montón de chamo por toda esta zona. ¿Qué es esto?
Nothing wrong with these two lamps. Let's move to the next ones. Oh, this lamp seems to be getting a little wobbly. Let me make a note of it. No problems with this lamp. Good.
¿Qué lámparas? ¿Esas? Bueno.
The Statue of the Seven is up on top of that large rock formation. You must have seen it when you came down this road before. It's pretty high up there, isn't it? Don't worry. If you're afraid you can't make it up there, I'm sure Master wouldn't mind if you don't clean the statue.
No te preocupes, soy un experto trepador.
I guess I'll leave it up to you then. There's not much footing once you reach the statue, so be careful up there.
Paimon will fly up with you and help you with those hard-to-reach areas. By the way, Kale, do you know anything about the Dendro Archon?
That depends. Are you referring to Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser
Rukkhada-
Lord Kusanali?
¿Rukarabata?
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata?
Rukkhadevata.
Is that the name of the former Dendro Archon?
Uh-huh. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was Sumeru's first Dendro Archon. She created the rainforest as well as the wall of Samiel around the desert. Her works provided a means of peaceful living for everyone. To the people of Sumeru, she's not only a symbol of wisdom, but also of power and kindness. Unfortunately,
La otra vez la que
she
aquí unos
disappeared in a
años.
great calamity that occurred a few hundred years ago.
Igual que el rey de Makoto. Uyara. Un poco más de referencias. Igual que coincidió con Canlia. Igual que el rey de Makoto. No sé cuál tiene más peso, pero al fin de cuentas todos son lo mismo.
According to what Masters told me, the sages later found the newly born Dendro Archon and whisked her back to Sumeru. To celebrate the reinstatement of their lost deity, the sages dubbed her Lesser Lord Kusanali and let her reside in the sanctuary of Sarastana.
Uh-huh. Then what happened?
Well, and then... I'm not too sure what happened, to be honest.
Huh? You're not too sure? But
Pero
aren't you from
tú no eres Sumeru.
Yeah, I'm from Sumeru.
Maybe it's difficult to discuss this topic with strangers. If that's the case, then don't worry.
No, it's not that. I'm not trying to hide something from you. Besides, I don't consider you two strangers. Anyway, you two know Amber, right?
¿Conocen a Amber? ¡Oyara! 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 ¡Oyara!
Wait, Amber? You mean...
¿Vieron el vuelo de
Yes,
Mondstadt?
that's her. I once lived in Mondstadt for a while, and she helped me a lot during that time. You could even say that she helped me become a new person. There's no one like Amber. She lives life to the fullest while always adhering to her strong sense of justice. She's ready to answer the call for action at any moment. But if you ask me, she's a prime example of a true outrider. She's the first person anyone coming to Mondstadt will meet. You can't help but be enthralled by her charm and enthusiasm, causing you to fall in love with the lands of Mondstadt and... Sorry.
De repente eres una persona totalmente distinta.
Paimon thought the work of Outriders was a little different from what you just described, but one thing's for sure.
Sorry. I was rambling on just now. It must have sounded kind of weird.
It's alright, Kale. Knowing that you're a friend of Amber somehow makes Paimon suddenly feel a lot closer to you. So, how do you know that we've met Amber?
Well, after I returned to Sumeru, Amber and I have stayed in touch by writing each other letters. In one letter, she mentioned that Mondstadt was attacked by a fearsome dragon, but the city was saved by a mysterious blonde traveler and their floating companion.
Yara,
I
referencias.
knew you two were the ones she mentioned in the letter the moment I saw you. But, considering everything you've been through that day,
So that's how you knew.
Yep, so please know that you two have my complete trust. Really. I wish I could tell you more about the Dendro Archon, but I have been away from Sumeru for some time, and I haven't read any books.
That's alright. You've already helped us a lot. We had never even heard of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or the Sanctuary of Surasthana until you mentioned them.
Oh, I'm happy that was helpful. There is one thing I want to ask, though.
Le explicas el propósito de tu viaje a Collate. ¿También?
So that's why you're here.
¿Es en serio?
Thank you for telling me your story.
¿Se puede contar la historia a cualquiera?
Isn't it? We are friends after all, right? Alright, we have a statue to clean.
You both have my thanks. While you two are up there cleaning, I'll go ahead and inspect the forest canopy. Let's meet back here shortly. I'm not a very good climber, so I'll just let you handle. I'll go check the facilities up ahead. By the way, once we're done with our work here, would you...
Increíble, de verdad. Referencias, aunque bueno, siguiendo con el canon de la historia principal. Eso sí rimó, qué loco, ¿no? Vale, escala a lo alto de la roca. No importa dónde me estoy dirigiendo, igual llega.
Huh. Now that Paimon looks at it, the deity that's carved on the statue is kinda small. Do you think she's supposed to be Greater Lord Rukkhadevata or Lesser Lord Kusanali?
La reina menor Kusanali.
Nice work.
A esto te quiero que vayamos a buscar a Cole.
Statue.
Reluciente. Pero yo lo veo igual. Yo lo veo igual todavía. Yo veo la estatua igual todavía. Ironías que se ven a la vista. A ver. A ver, vamos a ello.
We're back.
La mayoría tiene costumbre usar capas en el juego.
Back. You must be tired after
¿Qué
all
tal?
that climbing. Let's take a little break. I brought some fruit and water for us.
Yay, food! What kind of goodies did you bring? Hey, don't be a party pooper. It's not like Kale is a stranger or anything. Besides, the best way to compliment a chef
Ya le
is to
enseñó
show
eso a Paimon.
passion for their food.
I prepared a nice portable dish that forest rangers like to eat called pita pockets. I hope you'll like them.
Doner kebab. ¿Kebab?
Whoops!
Ah, no, you dropped it on the ground.
Uy, se cayó la comida.
I wrapped a few layers of oiled paper around each pita. They should be fine.
Oh, whew. Paimon nearly had a heart attack there.
Comparten la comida con College.
Those pitas are amazing. You're quite the cook, Kale.
Kebabs. Literalmente son kebabs.
Goodness, you wrapped them in paper.
Los kebabs son de, los kebabs son de otro país. Los kebabs son de otro. Los kebabs son de otro país, no recuerdo. Kebab me suena muy familiar.
You really know how to compliment the chef, Paimon. Since you liked it so much, I'll be sure to give you a copy of the recipe sometime. I'll even include all my personal cooking pointers, so you'll be making your own pita pocket.
Yay! Thanks, Kale. It's hard to believe someone as diligent as you could have clumsy moments too.
Oh, I guess it happens.
So, Kale, don't you think that Tainari's a little
Tignari, el nombre Tignari me suena muy familiar como a Tina, no sé por qué. Me suena muy familiar como a Tina.
Everyone has their clumsy moments.
No, you've got the wrong idea about Master. Sure, he may seem a bit harsh at first, but with some time, you'll see that he's actually I've heard the veteran rangers say that Master is from some ancient and mysterious race that is known for their cunning wit and reclusive nature.
Uraño.
Oh, by the way, you've heard of the
¿Uraño es una,
right?
Uraño es una palabra?
There's a group called
¿Uraño es una palabra?
Something.
Amo algo.
Because Master does a lot of research on plants. Sages from the academia have written him many times, but Master declines their offers every time, saying, Sumeru City is too noisy. It'd be bad for my ears.
Hablando de sus orejas, me gustaría acariciarlas. A ver qué hice.
I know, right? I've always wanted to pet them too.
No me esperaba esa respuesta también.
Anyway, Master could have easily left the rainforest to take up a position at the academia, but he chose to stay here instead as a forest watcher, helping the locals every day and passing on his knowledge to trainees. In fact, Master's the one who taught me how to make pita pockets.
Doner kebabs.
Paimon would have never guessed that.
Doner kebab está... El don está muy complementado. El kebabs le suena mucho mejor.
You after finding you passed out yesterday. He even carried you all the way here. Paimon's still kinda upset though. He kept scolding Paimon the entire way here.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Master might have been overreacting a little. But it's mostly because Paimon wouldn't stop yelling, Why am I going to die? It probably started to get under Master's skin after a while.
Supongo que hay momentos que en las cuales actuamos como de una manera muy diferente, pero que al final creo que es la intención lo que cuenta. La intención es lo que cuenta al final. De todas maneras, bien trabajo.
Hey! Don't laugh! Paimon was genuinely concerned about you. Hey! Now even Kale started... Ugh, that's it! Paimon won't forget this! It's time for some Paimonial wrath!
No! Don't touch me!
¿Qué pasó? Ocurre algo, Cole.
Oh, sorry, Kale. Paimon didn't mean to scare you.
No, I just...
Kale,
was startled you both reacting like that. Oh, well, it's getting late now. Let's hurry back to Gandharville.
Esto fue extraño.
What was up with Kali just now? And why is she in such a hurry all of a sudden? Look, she's practically running back.
Esto fue extraño. Eso fue totalmente extraño. Pero bueno, el optimismo siempre permanece. El optimismo siempre permanece. El optimismo siempre permanecerá. A ver, vamos a ello, vamos a ello. Vuelve a la villa Gadavba.
Ah, traveler. You've returned.
Yep, we're back.
Oh, Kale? Yes. I saw her go into her room just a moment ago.
Oh, okay. Guess we'll just have to wait and talk to her.
Espera el día siguiente a las 8 horas.
8 p.m. y 1 minuto.
¿Qué fue? Hace tiempo que no vengo. Hace tiempo que no vengo a esta zona.
I was just about to go look for you.
Huh? Tainari, what are you doing here?
Tignari.
Where's Kale?
I came to check on Kale's condition. To put it simply, she's not well.
You mean she's sick? How could she be... Oh, wait a minute. Could it be because of what Paimon did yesterday?
No need to worry. Something as small as you could never harm her. This sickness is something that Kale has been dealing with for some time. Kale has been more excited than usual since you two arrived. A little too much so, to be honest. She hasn't remembered to take care of herself. I suppose it's understandable, though. She hasn't been around anyone she considered a friend for some time now. It must have been refreshing for her to have you two here.
So, Tainari, what's really wrong with Kale?
Let's take this conversation elsewhere. Kale just fell asleep after taking her medicine. She needs some peace and quiet.
Diga Tignari. Cole está dormida.
Shh. Kale's asleep. Let's come back once she's feeling better.
No creo, de verdad, o sea... No creo, de verdad. A la madre, los del juego la han tapado muy bien la vista. Creo. Yo supongo. Creo, yo opino. Yo solamente opino.
All
Y ocurre una
right, let's
tormenta.
continue our conversation here, shall we? To be honest, I hadn't realized that you're that honorary knight from Mondstadt until Kale told me just now. I've also heard all about your deeds in Liyue and Inazuma.
Inazuma.
Just to clarify, what I'm about to tell you about Kale is not because of who you are or your past feats. Instead, I am going to tell you because... well, because Kale asked me to. And honestly speaking, I was against Kale revealing her past to you. But she insisted, saying you two treated her with sincerity and as a friend.
So, Tainari, what exactly is wrong with Kale? You said this is something...
Right. Ever since she was a child, she's been afflicted with a disease called
Eleazar.
Eleazar?
Eleazar?
Yes, it's a disease unique to the lands of Sumeru. It is characterized by dark and hardened scales that form on the body. At first, the afflicted may only feel mild numbness on the affected area of the skin. However, as the disease progresses, one may begin feeling fatigued and even experience peripheral paresthesia. In its final stages, the disease strips a person of the ability to control their own body, and they effectively become completely immobile.
That sounds terrifying. Wait, hold on. So when Kale seemed to be acting a little clumsy earlier?
Correct. That would be the effects of Eleazar, which is precisely why I do not want her carrying or holding anything.
¿Hay alguna
Lest she
cura?
ends up hurting herself. With appropriate treatment, the disease can be effectively controlled before it progresses to a more serious stage. However, there is unfortunately still no true cure for
No hay
Nevertheless,
cura.
Kale's mother still hoped that there was something out there. She handed Kale over to an organization
Los
known as the
Fatui.
Fatui after one of their members lied and said they had a cure.
Los Fatui.
The Fatui?
Los
It
Fatui.
appears you are already familiar with them. That'll save me some explanation. Anyway, the person who eventually rescued Kale and brought her to me for care said that she had been given to a harbinger known as the Doctor.
El
I have no idea
doctor.
how this doctor managed to do it, but her case of Elazar was completely stable for all the years that Kale was with them.
El doctor.
However, Kale's days with the Fatui were anything but pleasant. Kale is a resilient individual and always tries to appear cheerful, but her experience with the Fatui has left deep scars. Even now, she can still feel deathly afraid of someone touching her.
Oh, Paimon had no idea Kale's been through so much suffering.
Oh, by the way, Paimon, Kale wanted me to tell you that she's sorry for scaring you yesterday. She also wanted both of you to know that she's sorry for hiding her illness.
She doesn't need to apologize. None of this is her fault at all.
Well said. I hope you'll get a chance to tell her that in person the next time you see her. Kale once thought that it would be impossible for her to have any real friendships. I trust that you two will never let my trainee experience such emotional pain again.
Don't worry, Tainari. We'll take good care of her.
¿Qué tal eso? ¿Qué tal
Well, it's
es su
not too
enfermera ahora?
serious at this point. She overexerted herself the last couple of days, which is what led to her breakdown this time. As long as she has taken her medicine and gets plenty of rest, she should get better. Though, I must admit that Kale's condition was much more stable when she first arrived here in Gandharvaville. She was interested in the work of the forest rangers the moment she saw us. I could see that she was serious about learning, so I felt compelled to ask her to join us. Her stamina has gotten much worse recently. Though a moderate amount of physical exercise is always necessary, I'm afraid the long-distance patrols are a little too much for her now. All right. Now that I've told you about Kale's past, I think I'll head into the rainforest to find some ingredients needed for her medicine. I'll see you two later.
¿Puedo ir contigo?
Yeah, we'd like to do something to help Kale too.
All right. But I must warn you two. The rainforest is a dangerous place, especially for someone who's still recovering like the traveler. You must follow closely and listen to every instruction.
No problemo.
Let's go then. We'll be
Let's
looking
go.
for a plant known as lunar lotus. It's often used to help those afflicted with Elazar recover their energy.
Vale, hay que recuperar una cura.
Where exactly are we going to find this plant?
Oye, y aquí hay un desafío,
Lunar lotus can be
irónicamente.
found all over the rainforest, but it often grows right here around Gandharvaville.
Aquí hay un desafío.
Given the name, it sounds like we should be looking for it in the water.
¿A dónde
You are
está?
correct. Lunar lotus grows in the water. When fully mature, they look like giant blue flowers floating on the water's surface. Quite an attractive species, if you ask me.
Paso
The
ligero.
large petals are actually the plant's leaves and sepals, which surround a very small flower. You should note that many of the plants found in Sumeru have names that are contrary to their species. Take the Kalpalata, for example. The plant is not a lotus at all, but rather a vine. And then there's the Sumeru rose, which is not a rose, completely contrary to its name.
Oye, ahora.
Oh, huh. Okay then.
Oye, ahora, muchas contradicciones.
Never bring up the topic of flowers with kindness.
A la madre, muchas contradicciones de plantas. Muchas contradicciones de plantas. Y saltamos y volamos como Superman. Me preguntaré si hacemos eso, pues lo haremos como Superman. Salto. Ok, estamos yendo por la zona y aquí está.
There should be lunar lotuses growing somewhere in this area.
Oye, y justo
Let's
para la
split up and
lluvia.
begin searching. If you could manage to gather 4 of them, that would be sufficient. We'll rendezvous here once you've gathered the needed amount.
Justo hay 4. Habla con Yuto. Recolecta lotos, ni tolpalta, ni tolplata, ni tolpala, ni no sé qué cosa. A ver, loto ni pala fresco.
Alright, we've gathered enough lunar lotuses. Let's head back to meet Tainari.
Mira, aquí hay más todavía. Aprovechando los puntos azules.
Hey Tainari, we found the lotuses you requested.
Let me take a look. Good, very good. I'm quite glad you two came along. Your exploration experience helped save me a lot of time here. It seems we even have enough time to stock up on some—
Hey, Tainari!
Amir.
Oh, Tainari, someone's calling your name. They're dressed like a forest ranger.
Ah yes, that's Amir and the others. But didn't they just set off not too long ago? What are they doing back so? Let's go find out what's going on.
Se van caminando en medio del agua. Se van caminando en medio del agua. Cosas que se ven en el juego. Irónico, esto me recuerda algo.
Tainari, thank goodness we found you here. We were just about to head back and find you at Gandharvaville.
What's going on?
We just discovered a withering zone.
The withering is back? But the patrol route you were on should have been already clear just a week ago. It reappeared so quickly. Can you tell me the exact location?
It's up ahead, deep in the river valley. It's appeared in a spot that blocks nearly the entire narrow part of the valley area, so we decided to come find you as quickly as possible.
And the radius of the contamination?
Sorry, I couldn't get a clear enough view to tell.
No one in our patrol team had a vision, and it appeared to still be spreading. So we didn't risk getting any closer.
Okay, I understand. You made the right decision. I'll go deal with it right away. In the meantime, please guide these two back to
A la
Gandharva.
Villa Gandharva.
Tainari, why don't you let us help you?
You two have only just arrived in Sumeru. You're still unfamiliar with many things in these. There's a unique type of anomaly that occurs in the Sumeru rainforest. It's called the withering. The affected areas not only cause nearby vegetation to wither, but it's also lethal to wildlife and even people. If you don't carry a vision, then you should think twice before approaching such places.
Yes, Amir is absolutely right. I wasn't kidding when I said the rainforest is a dangerous place. As Amir said,
La
only
selva es
someone with a
peligrosa.
vision,
La
that
selva.
is, the power to manipulate elements, will be able to resist the withering's corrosive effects for a time.
That's right. If any of the forest rangers without a vision come across a withering zone, we first make a record of the location and then have a ranger with the proper abilities deal with it. Only someone with a vision can venture within a withering zone and find a way to deal with it.
Yo también puedo controlar los
You don't
elementos.
seem to carry a vision.
Don't worry, he may not have a vision, but he's a real pro at using the power of the element.
It seems the rumors about you are true. In that case, all right, you two may accompany me. We typically only teach visitors how to identify the withering as they're about to leave Gandharvaville. We'll make an exception today and show you what it looks like up close.
¿Qué? ¿Acaso nunca había visto uno? Creo que no. Qué irónico. Dirígete a la zona marchita. A la madre.
Stop. Don't move any further. Look there in the distance.
Huh? Where? Oh, look! Those plants have withered! That whole area is kinda gloomy. Oh, Paimon doesn't like the look of this.
That is the withering. All right, traveler. We're going to have to enter that withering zone. Once inside, we'll need to look for what we call tumors of the withering. If we eliminate those, then the area
Destrozaremos la
is safe.
zona.
Thank you. But I must warn you, don't push yourself. This is your first time handling this sort of thing. Even with elemental powers, once you step inside the withering zone, you may experience extreme discomfort. If at any point it becomes too much, return outside the zone and take a breather. You ready then? Let's go.
Las zonas marchitas. Las zonas marchitas que solamente pasan en Sumeru.
First, we must locate any
Es como
branches
la...
sustaining the
Es
withering
como,
zone.
no sé. No sé, algo familiar. Creo que hace una defensa de la contaminación. Según... A la madre. Según esto, a la madre. Según esto dice que tengo que botar acá. Pero ya me había topado con esas zonas marchitas.
Born of ice. We're way behind schedule.
Ay, miércoles, falta este. A la madre, inclusive los enemigos también cambian de color.
Next on the agenda.
Vale. Lo que entiendo es que necesito esto. Por acá y por acá.
Now that all the branches have been cleared, we'll need to take care of the tumor.
Por la zona rocosa, pero está llena de enemigos. Uy, miércoles. A la madre, ese ataque se fue más potente del usual.
For Rex Lapis. Access denied.
Y Bon Voyage.
Destroy the tumors of the withering.
Y zona marchita destruida. Y florece lo verde.
Everything's returning to normal.
Yes, thanks to you two. We were able to quickly restore this area back.
Tainari? You make it sound like we did well, but why does Paimon have the feeling you're worried?
It's that obvious, huh? Alright, it's like this. Recently, the rate at which the withering zone appears has been increasing. Even though we were able to quickly clear that withering zone, if that simply meant more work for me, then that wouldn't be an issue. But it's far more severe than that. The withering is leaving lasting effects on the rainforest. For instance, even though we cleared out the withering zone, many of the plants that were affected will not recover. This presents a crisis for the ecosystem itself. Many plants in the rainforest are already in decline, directly impacting the wildlife that depends. And most disturbingly, as the appearances of withering zones have started to increase, Kale's case of Elazar has also...
Las zonas marchitas.
I'm still not sure of the exact reason. However, I've received word from acquaintances at the academia that similar cases are being reported for patients
No hay
with
forma
other
de deshacerse de las zonas marchitas para siempre.
No, none that we know of. The withering has been recorded in Sumeru for millennia.
Milenios.
It's said that it originates from the depths of the world. By the way, have you heard of Irminsul before?
Irminsul. No.
Irminsul is a tree located deep beneath the surface. Although it isn't like any tree we know in a biological sense. You can basically think of it as a large tree that grows downwards rather than up. I'm sure you've heard of ley lines, right? They're like the roots of Irminsul, spreading and extending from a massive cavern deep underground, all the way up to the surface.
A ver, se entrecruzan y se extienden. Una cueva gigante. Suena muy parecida a lo que vi cuando peleé conocimiento en la cueva.
Ley lines continually absorb the memories of this world, which are then funneled into Irminsul, allowing it to collect knowledge and wisdom from ancient times to present day. The Dendro Archon is known as the God of Wisdom because her consciousness is directly connected to it. It is also said that the Dendro Archon's power is a manifestation of Irminsul. And as for the withering, its emergence is related to a disease that's affecting it.
¿Quiere decir que el Irminsul está enfermo? ¿Quiere decir que Irminsul está enfermo?
That's right. My ancestors learned of this from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's familiars a long time ago. But even those mysterious creatures did not know of a cure for Irminsul. I'm afraid we rangers will be battling the withering zones here for a long time until a cure is found. Alright, that's enough on this topic for the time being. Now that we've taken care of things here, it's time for us to head back to Gandharvaville.
Esa es a la vía Gandelberg. Vamos por esta zona y por esta zona. Y hemos regresado.
Oh, Tainari, you all made it back.
The withering zone you reported has been taken care of. No need to worry. Huh. Wait, is that?
Oye, oye eso. ¿Qué
Oh,
loco?
no, Apasia!
Oye, ahora ha sonado música de sorpresa.
Huh? What's wrong, Tainari?
Este perro
This
viene.
Duskbird is Hypatia's designated courier for urgent news. You do remember her, don't you? She's the scholar you and Paimon were following when you first arrived in Sumeru.
Oh, her? How could we forget? So did something happen?
Let me see what's written in the letter first. Oh.
So what's it say? And what's with that weird expression on your face? Just let Paimon read it, huh? All Paimon sees are...
Yes, allow me to explain. After we brought you from Hypatia's cave to Gandharvaville, she must have just finished. It's been nearly 3 days since she's had anything to eat, and it appears she's forgotten to prepare some rations. This letter is her asking us for help. We need to go.
What? You mean she's been staying here for 3 days? Hey, wait,
Well, obviously because this has happened before.
Grande.
Last time she drew 5 lines. And by the needless to say, Hypatia's been through worse, but we should still get to her as quickly as possible. I've got some emergency rations set aside for times like these. Paimon, Traveler, could you two bring these to her?
Wait, you want us to bring her the rations? But will the Traveler be okay if her...
Back when we were clearing the Withering Zone, I observed that he could adeptly manipulate the Dendro element. And if I may ask, when I was telling you two about Irminsol's ley lines, was what I described similar at all to what you saw while you were unconscious?
Lo que vi no fueron alucinaciones, ¿cierto?
That's correct. Those weren't hallucinations at all. Though I don't intend to apologize for deceiving you. Because what you saw is of significant importance. Not just for the nation of Sumeru, but the entire world
algo
of
importante
Teyvat.
algo importante
My
para
forefathers
Teyvat.
were shown much favor by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. We took an oath to protect this nation together with her. Now that that duty has fallen to me, it was part of my responsibilities to ascertain whether you could be in... Now, after seeing you in action with my own eyes, you have earned my confidence, and I no longer feel the need to hide any secrets from you.
Entonces, ¿qué fue lo que vi?
Out, your consciousness had connected directly with Irminsul. What you witnessed were actually real memories. I could try to tell you more, but it would be better if you went to ask Hypatia instead. Her focus on meditation and use of Spirit Borneol are aimed at establishing a connection with Irminsul.
That sounds nice and all, but will she really help us? Seriously, she completely ignored us.
That was because when you ran into her, she was in a special phase of her training. During that time, she must avoid Please, wait here for a moment.
Comunicación. Esperen aquí, por favor. O sea, la comunicación es importantísimo. Este loro, pelícano, o como se diga.
Here, take these. It's a meal I packed for Hypatia, as well as some other ingredients. I'm sure it'll come in handy. Also, here's a letter that I would like you to give to her. Just show it to her and she'll answer any questions you may have. No.
Al contrario.
I should be the one thanking you. You've both been a great help these last...
Ya lo pasamos rápido.
Should still be in the cave. Let's go inside and see how she's doing.
Nos estamos dirigiendo hacia la otra zona. Nos estamos dirigiendo hacia otra zona donde al comienzo de la historia nos hemos topado con alguien que nos había ignorado y ahora pide ayuda. Un día normal. Un día normal como cualquiera.
Hypatia should still be in the cave. Let's go inside and see how she's doing.
Ingresa por la... estamos en la zona,
Hypatia? Hey, there's nobody here. Maybe she went out to look for some food. Let's try looking around the area.
Soneo, ¿qué fue eso? Parece que proviene del interior de la cueva. Un atrapasueños. No, un atrapasueños. Ahí está. Esa auspicia. ¿Estará bien? ¡Ay, miren! Un hombrecito verde. Un hombrecito verde. O lo que sea que es esa cosa. ¿Qué fue? Uy, ¿qué fue? Uy, ¿qué fue? Nos atacó. Nos atancation. Nos atancation. Y se fue. ¿Qué fue eso?
You are. Hypatia, are you alright?
So hungry. Need water.
There's no way we can get her to eat in her current condition. Let's try finding some water first. Huh? Wait. Why does it look super foggy outside all of a sudden? Anyway, let's go look around.
El destino será nomás. Creo que será el destino nomás. Será el destino. Vale.
How things out here end up looking like this?
Oye, Ara, ¿qué es esto?
And where are we?
Debe haber una explicación. Denme una explicación. ¿Qué pasó?
Maybe you're right. Let's go investigate the area.
¿Qué pasó? A lo mejor el viajero consumió algo. A lo mejor el viajero ha consumido algo. Y estamos en una especie de alucinación. Pero porque esto no estaba antes. Portal de destrucción activado. Vamos, 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 vamos. ¡Un cofre!
This place is huge. I knew there's something off about that cave. Let's think of a way to get over there and have a closer look. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a lead of some kind.
Pero lo que haré lo primerizo será hacer esto. Pero lo primerizo será hacer esto. En los hongos de Sumeru a veces encontrarás brincosetas. Sin embargo, debido a las zonas inexplicables y fascinantes, estas setas no son tipo de criatura triforme. ¿A qué se está refiriendo? Bueno, pero al menos desbloquea un nuevo cofre. Vale, iremos por esta zona. Iremos por acá. Mira, me fui por otra zona. A ver, ¿qué pasa? Oye, uy, no. A la madre, no llegué. No he llegado. No he llegado con doble L. Y llegamos a la zona. Ciego. Ahora bien, esperar a que suba. Sube. Vale, sube ascensor. Miércoles, se me caigo. En los dominios sumeros a veces encontrarás resina primogénica junto con los caminos que sellan. Recoge 3 de estas resinas en el dominio para desbloquear el camino correspondiente. Recoger, vale. Me imagino que será esto. Ah, va, sí, creo que debe ser eso. Así que, oye, un cofre. Bon voyage. Aquí en otro lado, porque no me dirigí al otro lado. A la otra zona no me he dirigido. Vale, vamos a ello. Hay que por acá. Oye, mira, ¿qué es esto? ¿Y por qué de casualidad cambió el destinario? El destinatario ha cambiado.
No touching. Let's light it up.
No nos rindamos.
All hail.
¿Ya qué es esto? Uy, no. Primero el cofre. Primero el cofre, después esa cosa. Primero el cofre, después esa cosa. Oye, ahora miren. Oye, ahora me he convertido en un personaje de Zelda. O sea, ¿cómo se llaman estas hadas? Esto verde me recuerda mucho a las hadas que aparecen en Zelda. Me recuerda demasiado. Oye, ahora. Pero al Zelda del primer juego de Nintendo 64. Nos convertimos en un hada. No sé cómo será el personaje, pero nos convertimos en eso. Uy, miércoles, me hago daño con esto. Uy, miércoles. Ok, tenemos uno, falta otro. ¿Qué fue? ¿Qué fue? La silenciosa buscadora de conocimiento. ¿Qué pasó? Oye, me mantuve quieto. ¿Qué rayos? Ahora estoy en Sumeru. Habla con Yasumoto. ¿Quién es Yasumoto? Uy, ¿qué fue? ¿Otra vez? Sigue buscándole camino de la parte superior de la cavidad. ¿Qué fue? ¿Y cómo llegamos hasta acá? Y ingresamos por acá. A ver, por acá. Por esta zona. Saltamos, no llegamos. Pero aquí sí llegamos, aquí sí llegamos. Uy, aquí ya. Y ahora esperemos a que suba como un ascensor. Ascensor viviente. Uy. Activation. Ay, no, otra vez. La silenciosa buscadora de conocimiento investiga el patio al fondo del corredor. ¿Cómo que al fondo? ¿Otra vez acá? ¡Ay, parece Sumeru! Digo, Inazuma se parece. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué está pasando por acá? Uy. Ay, creo que ya entiendo esto. Ahora sí entró. Investiga el corredor de otro lado. Uy, se convirtió en pintura. A ver, a investigar si hay un algo escondido. Si hay algo escondido por la zona. Creo que no. A ver, subimos. Espera. Otra vez. Ve a plataforma en el nivel superior. Vale, pero estamos en una zona muy extraña. A ver, subimos. Oye, ¿qué es eso? Oye, ese es un... Oye, nos encontramos con otro proto, más conocido como los emisores del abismo. Nos encontramos con un proto, más conocido como los emisores del abismo. Y hacemos todo lo demás. Solamente el abismo está por acá. El abismo no es frente. Con el poder del dendro, con el poder del dendro. Con el poder del dendro. Vale, así más sencillo congelarlo. Y ahora, ¿por qué pasa que aguanta mucho? Uy, aguantó mucho, ¿por qué?
Why can't we beat this guy? Oh, Paimon doesn't get it. We faced others like him before.
Traveler, though you may have managed to avert countless crises before, your good fortune was bound to end sooner or later. It's time you realize how weak and powerless you really are.
No me rendiré jamás.
Your sister. Oh, pitiful traveler. Are you really so ignorant? Or are you just living in complete... Her Highness has long since forsaken you. Your meager existence in her eyes is that of an annoying... The bonds of love and family which drive you to find your sibling are utterly gone. Your journey is meaningless. But don't you fret now. Today will be your last. Now die!
Ese proto se da de mal humor. Oye, ¿qué fue? ¿Qué fue lo que pasó? Qué extraño. Siento que como si hubiera soñado algo, pero no lo recordar.
What do we do? We haven't seen Hypatia anywhere. Oh, there she is! Quick, let's see how she's doing.
So sweet.
Well, the good news is that she's still conscious. Hey, why'd you drop her food on the floor like that? Are you okay? That's really not like you. Anyways, we can talk about this later. We better make sure she's alright first.
Un lapsus, así como se le cosa el juego, un lapsus, de verdad.
Whoa, wait a sec. Look at all this fruit lying around her. We can put that...
Después de darle a Hypatia un poco de agua y jugo.
Who is there? Tainari, is that you? Huh?
It's okay. You can relax, Hypatia. Tainari sent us here to bring you some food and water. Here, we have a letter that he asked us to give you.
Le entregas a Hypatia la carta de Tignari. Atrapasueños. ¿Se bugueó? Ah, no.
So, you're friends of Tainari. I apologize for all the trouble I've caused you. I'm grateful that you came so quickly to save me. You even brought all this fruit.
Well, actually, we didn't bring the fruit. It was already here when we arrived. We were kind of wondering about that, actually. When we found you here, there was all this fruit lying around and even some juice dripping from your lips. How did you end up like this?
Oh, really? I seem to understand now. All the fruit was likely from my, neighbor. Must have come by and saw me like this.
Your neighbor? You mean there's someone else living nearby?
¿Es una criatura pequeña y redonda?
So, you're able to see them too?
¿Recuerdas a Hypatia? Ponme lo que sucedió al entrar en la cueva.
Wait, hold on a second, traveler. You say that before we arrived, you saw some mysterious creature and suddenly had a strange dream?
No, I actually do believe what the traveler is saying. I myself had a similar experience once before and ended up scaring. You needn't worry. They mean you no harm. They only dragged you into the dream because they hoped to buy themselves a little time in order to scurry away.
So, Hypatia, just what kind of creature is your neighbor exactly?
I'm not sure what it's called, to be honest. But I do know that they have some sort of deeper connection with the Dendro Archon.
Arconte Dendro.
Because the first time I saw them was also the exact day my consciousness was able to form a connection with Irminsul. Even after I opened my eyes and stopped meditating, my heart was still pounding, and my mind was racing with all the knowledge that I had touched. And at that very moment, I suddenly noticed a small figure at the opening of the cave. In my curiosity, I began to walk over to the creature. They must have already been used to me living in the cave, because they didn't seem to mind me approaching them. They just kept doing whatever they were up to.
¡Qué loco! ¡Qué
It
loco! ¿Qué es
wasn't until
esto?
I crouched down next to them that they suddenly realized that I could see them.
Oh! And then?
And then I had a dream. By the time I came to, they were nowhere to be seen.
Desapareció.
I was convinced they'd never show up again. But sure enough, I saw them nearby a few days later. And they weren't alone. I feel like they aren't as afraid of me as the first time I approached them. But I never would have expected them to save me.
A eso se le llama a ser un buen vecino.
Yes, no doubt about that. By the way, Tighnari mentioned in his letter that you had questions for me regarding Irminsul.
Y el estómago suena.
Sorry about that. Sounds like just drinking juice still isn't quite enough for my stomach.
Well, if somebody hadn't dropped the food earlier... Anyway, looks like we'll need to prepare something ourselves. Besides, Paimon's getting hungry too. Let's eat first and talk about Irminsul later. All right, we're up, traveler. Today's menu will feature sweet madame and a radish veggie soup. You'll love them, Hypatia.
Sounds good. I've never tried any dishes from other nations before. I certainly look forward to it. It's been so long since I've had a decent meal, too.
¿Es en serio? Ahora le cocina otra vez. Otra vez. Cocina en la hoguera. Uy, no. Preparar. Oye, ahora. Sin prender nada, solo. Cocinas algunos platos con la hoguera. Cocinando. Imagina lo que estamos cocinando.
Let's use the empty box that Tighnari gave us since we already watched it. Oh, it smells amazing. And the box is a nice touch, too. Let's go serve this up and start eating with...
Are you already finished cooking? Smells delectable. I'm truly thankful whenever I can enjoy a proper meal like this. Cooking really isn't my forte.
¿Y esto? Oye, ahora, todo un canastón, de verdad. Todo un canastón. Pasa una canasta que te dan cuando cumples tu deber como trabajador. Después de una magnífica comida le cuentas a Inés cómo entrar en contacto con el Irminsul.
Even though everything you mentioned was in Tighnari's letter, it's still hard to believe you were able to connect with Irminsul immediately after smelling Spiritborn eel for the first. It took me nearly 3 years before I could do so. And everyone at the academia even lauded me as a genie. You should know that some researchers spent their entire lives without ever successfully connecting with Irminsul as you have.
So why does this incense allow people to connect to Irminsul?
The ingredients used to make Spiritborn eel primarily consist of plants created by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. These special ingredients are conducive to heightening our senses to the Dendro Archon's power.
Arconte Dendro.
Since the root of the Dendro Archon's power lies within Irminsul, we can occasionally tap into her powers to peer into the depths of the earth.
Creo que ya lo comprendo.
Naturally, anyone who can establish a connection with Irminsul in their first ever attempt must be a person of
O sea, es como tipo conexión con Arconte.
But Paimon's got a question. Why was he sensitive to the smell smell of those plants for such a long time?
That was primarily due to his body's unique constitution. Stimulated by the incense, he could perceive the Dendro Archon's power and experienced a sensory overload, hence the adverse reactions. Taking in any scent similar to the ingredients of Spiritborn Ale would cause adverse effects. Not to worry though, it appears you've already fully recovered. Technically, your body should still be sensitive to the powers of the Dendro Archon, but unless you're using intentional meditation techniques, the scent of Spiritborn Ale should no longer trigger such reactions.
Whew. Well, that's a relief.
O sea que muy listo.
I must admit,
En
I
resumen,
am
muy
quite
listo.
envious of your abilities. Even if it meant suffering from pounding headaches for the rest of my life, I'd consider it worthwhile so long as I could connect with Irminsul at will.
Whoa, you're really serious about this whole thing, aren't you?
I am a researcher after all. As a member of the Ritaoist Darshan at the Academia, my main
Oye,
area
ahora
of
otra vez,
research is the
otra vez
stars and
el
their
objeto
connections to the
verde.
fate of living beings. But there is still so much we don't know, especially regarding the mysteries that lie. I cannot guarantee that my every attempt to attune with Irminsul will be successful, or that doing so will leave my consciousness intact. I am currently in the stage of training known as Satyavada life. Many researchers in Sumeru have lost their minds while seeking to attune with Irminsul during this stage. Sages have said that Irminsul contains
Oye, ahora.
divine knowledge, and touching such knowledge without
Se
the proper
durmió.
preparations and abilities will only lead to one's mind caving in on itself. That's why we meditate alone. We need to ensure that our minds will be calm while minimizing the possibility of involving anyone else.
Whoa, so knowledge from Irminsul can be super dangerous. Aren't you afraid of the risks?
Of course I do. Especially during nights that are pitch black with no moonlight, and dead silent without even the sound of incense. However,
Oye, ahora.
I'm feeling better as of late. I don't get as scared anymore knowing that I have a little neighbor living nearby. Even though that little neighbor of mine was able to induce a state of dreaming, the end of your dream seemed quite terrifying. Perhaps there's something... Not to worry, though. I'm sure you'll be able to handle whatever... As someone from Sumeru who cannot dream, I needn't ever worry about nightmares. But heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like to ask about, you know where to find me. Sumeru researchers use Spiritborn Ale to assist them in connecting with Irminsul to extract knowledge from it. Though the process can be risky, we believe that the knowledge gained is worth it. Unfortunately, I cannot help you understand your dream. At least not yet. I'm still learning how to attune to the... I hope that I'll be able to ascend past Satyavada life and gain deeper insights. Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like to... I've heard local children here in the rainforest speaking of fairy-like creatures. But I'm from Sumeru City, and have never heard of such things when I was a child. Perhaps this is because I had a very strict upbringing. My parents would seldom allow me to play with other children. I doubt they'd ever believe me if I told them about my little... And speaking of my little neighbor, I think they can somehow sense when Tighnari is coming to visit me. I've noticed on several occasions that as they're playing under the trees, they'll suddenly tense up and scamper away for no apparent reason. Shortly after they do this, Tighnari always shows up here. Perhaps I should ask Tighnari about this the next time I see him. Heading out, I see? If there's anything else you'd ever like, take care.
Adiós, cuídense. Y recuerden venir y visitar cuando estén por la zona.
I would be happy to chat with you.
Mira, cómo el humor cambia, de verdad.
Unos momentos después.
Think about it, Tighnari. Refusing to join is tantamount to burying your head in the sand. I understand that you're a forest watcher, and that it's your duty to combat the effects of withering zones. But isn't it evident that such work is not a lasting solution to the problem? As Sage Kage clearly stated, your presence and guidance in Sumeru City is pivotal in finding a cure for Irminsul. How could you possibly refuse?
Keep your emotions in check, Ghulam. Let's at least listen to
Ghulam.
Tighnari's reason for declining. We're
No
here
sé,
to
pero-
invite him to the Academia, not to cause a scene.
Sage Kage,
Sabio
I am
Chille.
truly honored that you came here in person, but I'm afraid I must still decline your invitation. I am merely a forest watcher, How could the great minds of the Haravatat have any need of someone like me?
Well, it turns out that your refusal letter had some implications on your master's reputation. He is a renowned sage of the Immorta, after all.
I see. Huh.
Veo.
And I figured that given his temper, he would come here and berate me personally.
Tighnari, your master is an integral part of this effort, and now he requires your assistance.
And what exactly does my master need of me, Sage Cut?
You'll know once you've arrived in Sumeru City, that is.
La ciudad de
And how long
Sumeru.
will I be required to stay?
There's no definite
Pero ahora una
answer
respuesta
now.
por el momento.
Do you
O
mean
sea,
to
quieren
tell
a
me that
Tignari
despite
en el,
coming
o sea,
all
quieren
the
a
way here
Tignari
to
para
Comparte,
para una
you still
investigación.
can't answer the questions I laid out in the letter to my master? If that's the case, then I'm afraid I cannot give you a definite answer either.
Tighnari, but you...
So be it. Come, Gulam, we're leaving.
Come on. Bueno, no hubo solución para convencer a Tignari. Tignari es impotente. Oyera.
Tighnari, what was that all about?
It's nothing. Some people from the academia wanted me to go to Sumeru City to assist them with a project, but I had to refuse on account of all my response. But all that can wait. How did things go with Hypatia?
It
Con
was quite
Hypatia.
the eventful trip, but the main thing is that she's safe and sound. She answered a bunch of questions for us, too.
Very good. Now that the traveler has made a full recovery, there shouldn't be any reason for you to tarry here longer. I assume you will be heading to Sumeru City, correct?
Sumeru.
Correct! We want to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali and ask her for advice. Do you have any idea on how we can find...
Sorry. I'm afraid I don't have any advice for you there.
Well, do you at least know anyone we can try asking in Sumeru?
Let me
A
think.
pensar.
My trips to Sumeru City have been fairly short, and most of my acquaintances are researchers. How about this? I'll
Escribió
write you
una
a letter
carta
of
de presentación que
introduction
podrá
that you can
entregar
give to a
con- igual que
researcher I know.
conozco.
He's from the Immorta Darshan and is adept at gathering information. Asking him might prove worthwhile. Also, when you enter Sumeru City, you'll probably end up receiving something like this item here. I'm not sure if it will ever come in handy for you, but maybe you can give it a try.
Oh? What is it?
It's called an
Se
Akasha
llama
terminal.
conmutador Akasha.
It's a tool produced by the academia that utilizes the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. Some say that this very item is the basis of Sumeru's. Needless to say, this device and its usage fall under the academia's expertise. So I'll leave it to them to show you.
Great! Next up, Sumeru City!
Tenemos,
Oh,
tenemos que despedirnos de Decoley.
that's right. Tighnari, we have something important to say to Kale before we leave. Is she doing better?
Yes, she's doing much better. After being confined to her bed all this time, I thought a little walk would do her some good. Last I saw her, she was taking the path towards the North Crossing. She knew you two would be leaving soon, so she must have wanted to see you off.
Thanks, Tighnari. All right, let's go.
Farewell.
Hasta pronto.
And good luck to you
Y buena suerte. Tignari, despídete de college. Vamos a ello.
I've been waiting for you two. Never mind. I guess I should just wish you two a safe and
Un viaje
successful journey.
Tranquilidad.
We're waiting here just to see
Tranquilidad.
us off, Kale. We're headed to Sumeru City.
Cuídate mucho, college.
Don't worry about me. I can take care of myself. My condition won't be getting in the way of my duties. I want to be a forest ranger after all. It's up to me and the others to protect the rainforest here. And, I'm sorry. I should have told you both about my condition when we first met. I just wanted you two to treat me as a normal friend. Not some girl that needs your sympathy. But I guess now I understand that the most important thing is for friends to be genuine with one.
There's no need to apologize, Kale. We should be thanking you for trusting us enough to be your friends. And we're probably still gonna worry about your condition, but that's because we're friends and we care about you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Before you leave, I have something for you.
Oh? What is it?
It's my recipe for pita pockets.
Los
I told you
kebats.
that I'd give you a
Los
copy,
kebats.
remember? My handwriting is a little, messy, so please don't laugh.
Yay! Thanks, Kale. Now we can eat those scrumptious little pitas whenever and...
I hope that whenever you eat them, you'll both remember your time here in Gandharvaville.
Lo recordaremos, sin duda.
Well then, I, Trainee Forest Ranger Kale, bid you both farewell. Please visit Gandharvaville again. The Rangers will always be ready to assist you here.
Tienen como más de 10.000 o 20.000. Algún día llegará esa cantidad, ¿no? Llegará algún día esa cantidad. Así que pues, dígate a la ciudad de Inazuma. Inazuma.
Sumeru City! We finally made it!
La ciudad de Inazuma.
Did you see that? When those people entered the city, something on their heads lit up.
One moment, please, you two. It appears this is your first time visiting Sumeru City.
Sumeru.
Yeah, that's right. But
Because there's currently no information on either of you in the Akasha. But no need to worry, that won't prevent you from entering the city. In fact, the Academia conveniently provides each traveler to... Perhaps you two have heard of the Akasha before. It's our beloved Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's lasting legacy. After centuries of tireless research on the Akasha, the Academia created one of its most ingenious inventions, the Akasha Terminal.
El conmutador Akasha.
As long as you are within Sumeru's borders, you may use an Akasha terminal to connect directly to the Akasha and access any knowledge you need. I should mention that due to technical limitations, the operation of Akasha terminals will be much smoother and more effective in large cities, such as Sumeru City.
oh, so this is the thing that Tainari was telling us about. It sounds pretty amazing.
You two are quite fortunate. Until recently, it was standard practice to only issue Akasha terminals to outlanders who spent an extended amount of time in Sumeru. However, here are your Akasha terminals. Please handle them with care.
Oye, Ara, algo, no sé, pero al parecer la casa, en la casa, oye, Ara,
It kinda looks like a leaf.
es una hoja, literalmente, tiene la forma de una hoja, tiene la forma de una hoja.
To activate it, simply hold it in your hand and say the following phrase to yourself. May the mighty God bless us with their voice of wisdom.
Oh, since this little doodad lets you access knowledge, maybe we can use it to find a way to meet Lesser Lord Kusanali. Let's give it a try. Ahem. May the mighty God bless us with their
Que la gran
voice of
diosa nos
wisdom.
bendiga con su sabia voz. Oye, Ara, este aparato me recuerda mucho a los los detectores de ki de Dragon Ball. Me recuerda mucho a los detectores de ki Dragon Ball. Me recuerda demasiado.
Seems all we need to
Porque es de
do
color
is
verde.
concentrate on what we
Irónico,
wanna know.
irónico o referencial.
Oh,
¿Quién
that'll
sabe?
come in real handy.
Irónico o
Exactly.
referencial. ¿Quién
That
sabe?
is the power of the Akasha. And with that, let me officially welcome you both to Sumeru City. May the wisdom of the Dendro Archon always be your guide.
Y así es básicamente cómo se obtiene un comunicador al mundo estilo Dragon Ball. Literalmente me recuerda mucho a Dragon Ball ese comunicador.
Okay, now that we're in, we can check the Akasha about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Let Paimon try. 500 years ago, the sages found a newly born deity from within some scorched ruins. The deity now resides in the sanctuary of Suristana.
Más o
Seems
menos lo
pretty
que nos
similar to
contó
what
Kale.
Kale was telling us. Okay,
Oye, se
next,
mantuvo quieto.
let's concentrate on asking how to meet her. Paimon doesn't sense anything.
Detector de aquí.
The Akasha didn't respond to Paimon. Oh, come on! Ugh. Focusing on this question feels like when you have something you're trying to remember and it's on the tip of your tongue, but you... Ugh. Paimon's brain is exhausted.
Tal vez pueda conseguir la información de forma indirecta.
Smart idea. But what are you going to ask it?
Pensar, ¿por qué el comunicador casi no tiene respuestas? Pensar reina menor Kusanali, pensar reina mayor Rukkhadevata. La idea te cruza en la mente. El comunicador casi no tiene por qué responder esa pregunta. Incluso si muchas personas hacen la misma pregunta, el comunicador casi da una respuesta en funcionamiento.
Could because we're Outlanders and we've only just arrived in Sumeru?
Pensar reina menor Kusanali. Y rayos, irónicamente.
You too? Well, glad it's not just Paimon.
Pensar reina mayor Rukadevata. Sentimiento de afecto, cercanía, añoranza, tristeza, angustia se inunda en la mente.
Paimon's getting all teary-eyed all of a sudden. It feels like the people of Sumeru really miss their Archon. Well, seems no matter which way we try, we can't find anything that'll lead us to Lesser Lord Kusanali. He's from Sumeru and even has a position in the academia.
Okay. Post Akashinaka.
Oh, it's not far from the city's gate.
A ver, vamos a...
Hello, are you Rohawi?
Yes, that's me. Can I help you?
Great! You see, Tainari sent us here and...
What? Tainari?
Ignari?
Please, there's no need to say anything, really. Sure, I admit that the article I published last month wasn't my best work, and maybe the data didn't produce the most convincing results, but...
No estamos aquí para hablar de temas académicos.
This is a letter from Tainari.
Oh, let me see. Oh, ooh, what a relief. You two nearly scared the life out of me. Seems even Tainari acknowledges my innate ability for procuring information. So, what is it you two would like to...
We want to meet with Lesser
Queremos
Lord
ver la reina
Kusanali.
Kusanali.
Do you know a way we
¿Sabes
can do
cómo
that?
podemos hacerlo?
You mean you want to meet the Dendro Archon herself? This isn't exactly my area of expertise, but let me see what I can find in the Akasha.
Detector de ki.
Sorry, the Akasha didn't respond to my query.
What? You too? But what about your abilities for getting information and all that? Paimon was sure you'd be able to access more info than we...
Well, as I said, this isn't my area of expertise. I am but a lowly researcher, so the Akasha doesn't see a need for me to know more about the Dendro Archon. All I know is that ever since Lesser Lord Kusanali returned to Sumeru, she's never left the Sanctuary of Sorasthana or made a public appearance.
Miren.
Didn't expect her to be such a mysterious figure.
The Dendro Archon is somewhat of a recluse. Perhaps she
Reservada.
just doesn't want to entertain visitors, which would explain the lack of information in the Akasha.
But then what can we do?
No need to worry just yet. I'm only hypothesizing here. You could certainly try asking around and see if any... And besides, you two should consider the bright side.
Me dijo empezar,
Not being able to see Lesser Lord Kusanali may not be a bad thing. In this world, there will always be information you cannot obtain from the Akasha, and things you can never accomplish. Knowing when to yield
It is
is a
sabio
form
saber
of wisdom.
cuándo
Take me, for
desistir.
example. It's a miracle if my brain cells can spit out one paper every 3 years. But Tainari? That guy can publish 3
Yara.
papers in just a single year.
Son más estudiados.
Okay, thanks for your advice.
Son más estudiados, de verdad, son más estudiados.
Don't mention it. If you two ever want information about things like who's been promoted within the academia or relations between the 6 great sages, come find me.
Así que tu especie son los cotileos. Así que tú eres el chismoso del lugar. Si alguna vez necesitas información sobre quién es quién en la academia o sobre los 6 sabios, no tiene más que... Así que tú eres el chismoso del lugar.
Hey, come on. This is a survival skill at the academia.
Paimon's expectations were pretty low, but this is so low, it's like digging holes. So what do we do now? Even if we want to talk to someone, we don't know anybody here.
En realidad, sí conocemos a alguien.
Huh? Like who?
Astra, ¡oyera! Lo dijo. Astra avisars. Pues que...
You're right! Catherine! The Adventurers Guild has its own intel network. Let's hurry and find her.
Asarasat.
Ad Astra
¡Oyera, la
Abyssal.
frase!
Hello, Traveler and Paimon.
¡Oyera!
Catherine, we need your help with something.
Understood. The
Oye,
Adventurers Guild
también
is
tiene
always ready to
su
serve
esto.
you. With what do you require assistance?
We want to meet with Lesser Lord Kusanali. Do you know a way we can do that?
You two wish to meet with Sumeru's Archon. Understood. Please wait.
También tienes el comunicador también. También tienes el comunicador.
I apologize, but I am unable to call up any relevant information in the Akasha. I'm also unable to locate any pertinent information in my...
Aww, another dead end. Well, if Catherine can't help us, then we really don't know anyone else to ask now.
Please do not worry. I may know of someone who can help you two. In Sumeru, the Adventurers Guild does not serve as the vanguard of information. Rather, there are numerous active mercenary groups
Los
collectively known as
eremitas.
the Eremites.
Los
They
eremitas.
take on various contracts and work all across Sumeru, so they naturally accrue intelligence. An Eremite brigade called the Corps of 30 is in charge of Sumeru City's defenses. Not only are they the oldest brigade, but they are responsible for managing and coordinating the affairs of all
Los
other mercenary
eremitas.
brigades.
Corps of 30? What a weird name.
El regimiento de los 30. Ah, la man, muchos nombres.
Supposedly, they are named as such because their ranks numbered 30 at their inception. Asfand, an advisor with the Corps of 30, maintains good relations with the
El
Adventurers
señor
Guild.
Asfat.
Though he's already retired, he and his words carry great weight within mercenary
El señor
circles.
Asfat.
If you'd like to get in contact with him, you can find him at the Corps of 30's headquarters, the Citadel of Rexar.
¿Por qué con esa cara? Él es la mejor, Catherine.
You're welcome. I wish you two the best of luck. We look forward to your exploits in Sumeru.
Sumeru, aquí estamos.
Off to the Citadel of Rexar we go!
No, claro que no.
Welcome.
El canal sí son chidos.
Told me to expect you to.
Me informo que vendrían. Asfat.
Nice to meet you, Asfand.
Es un señor
I'd like to
Asfand.
ask you about something.
Oye, eso fue rápido. Oye, ahora ya no hace falta ese transcurso de tiempo. Ahora de frente nomás, de frente. Qué sorpresa.
I see. So, Catherine's the one who sent you this way. Ha! It's true that the Eremites' network is vast, but even I can't help you meet the Dendro Archon.
Y espero que sea apoyarlo.
Seriously?
Afraid so. The Eremites aren't terribly religious, so we don't know much about divinities.
La
As far
Akasha.
as the Akasha goes, we can access even less than you. We originally came from the desert.
Los dioses de
Gods there
Iri murieron
died off
hace
long
mucho
ago.
tiempo. Desde entonces
Since
los
those
eremitas
days,
hemos
we've
salido
used
adelante
our own
nosotros
two
solos.
hands to
No
carve
le
out
pedimos
the
ayuda a ningún dios.
We don't beg gods
Eso me
for
suena,
their aid.
eso me suena familiar.
It isn't just us, though. If you
Y
ask
Dani
me,
está
I think
rimando.
most in
Y está
Sumeru
diciendo: hace mucho que no rimo,
interested in
siento que me
lesser
oxido, pero no hay nada
lord
como
Kusanali.
disfrutar este stream con mucho dinamismo.
Ahí está. Bueno, ahí está, buena rima. Ahí está.
Just take the academia, for example.
Ahí está, ahí está.
They're the ones who truly
Está chida la
rule
rima, está chida la
Sumeru.
rima. Está chida la
Though they
rima.
believe in gods, most of them
Está
only
chida,
care
está
for
chida
them
la
in
rima,
their
está bien
eyes.
chida, de verdad.
She was the one who founded Sumeru. Because of the academia's influence, most citizens are more familiar with, not to mention that Lesser Lord Kusanali never makes an appearance. And the academia never announces anything about her.
Really? Aw. After hearing all of that,
Ha! But who knows? We're
Son
all
solo
just
suposiciones.
guessing when it comes down to it. Besides, I'm sure
No
the
creo
god
que la diosa de la
wisdom
sabiduría le
doesn't
preocupe mucho
worry
su
about her
reputación entre los simples
reputation
mortales.
among people like us.
Ah, aunque la recuerdan mucho, aunque la recuerdan mucho,
No problem.
aunque la recuerdan mucho, aún así le extrañan. Tras abandonar la ciudad de Resgar, las preguntas varían.